Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And I, of course, rise to support this free TAFE bill because Labor is, of course, the party of skills and training. We are the party of education for all. And we absolutely understand the power of education and how it can change someone's life. And of course, what has become very clear through the debate and the discussion in this place around this bill is that the Liberals do not understand this. They do not understand that, in fact, fundamental to governing this country is helping people to get the skills and training they need to build a good career, to provide workers for those industries that our country needs for the future. The actions and the words we have seen from those on the other side show that they do not value this work, they do not value our education and our training system, and they certainly do not value free TAFE. I've been very upfront about that. In fact, the Deputy Leader of the Opposition has said, if you don't pay for something, you don't value it. Well, certainly the apprentices, the trainees that I have met in local TAFEs in my community would disagree strongly with that statement, because they do know that what they are doing at the moment is investing in their future, and that what free TAFE gives them is the opportunity to do that, the opportunity to take up a career, a skill set that will last them for their lifetime. It is very clear this week that Labor is for helping Australians to get the skills to build their careers and our country. And of course, those opposite, the Liberals, are for taxpayers paying for bosses' lunch. It is a very clear contrast. We have seen this contrast directly in my community in the past. My local community knows all too well what the Liberal Party thinks about TAFE. Locals do remember that it was the Liberals in Victoria who oversaw the closure of the Greensboro TAFE in 2013. Now, the impact of that was huge in our local community. It took away this long-standing local training institution for people in the northern end of my electorate. And it did take the return of a Labor government to see this Greensboro campus reopened in 2017, followed by the opening on the same site of the Banyule-Nillumbik Tech School in 2018. And that has meant, again, that work of a Labor government, that value, has meant that countless people in Jagga Jagga, young people, older people retraining for new skills, have had the opportunity to take up an education and training through TAFE. A really practical demonstration in my community of the value that Labor governments put on this work and the complete disregard that those opposite have. Deputy Speaker, I was very pleased last week to visit Melbourne Polytechnic in West Heidelberg in my community, and I visited with the Minister for Skills and Training. I have been there a number of times, and I do always enjoy talking with the apprentices, the students and the staff training them about the work they are undertaking. And there's a big focus at that campus on, in particular, building trades. And so I was really pleased to be visiting last week because the Minister was making a very exciting announcement, which is that this government will deliver a $50 million Future of Housing Construction Centre of Excellence at West Heidelberg. So I'm really proud that this centre will be located in Jagga Jagga, that we will be home to the first dedicated training facility in Australia that's focused exclusively on advanced construction courses. What that will mean is that those people training at this centre will get the most up-to-date training in construction in houses, looking at things like how we build more houses more quickly with less environmental impact, new models like prefab and modular. It is really exciting work. So those people will get training, will get cutting-edge skills at the same time as we are helping to push along the construction of new houses, which we most desperately need in this country. Again, an example of how our government sees this investment in TAFE, this investment in helping people get the skills and training they need to build their future, as part of how we also build our nation and do the work we need to do to build things like new houses, to have people working in clean energy industries. This is nation-building work. And I know, again, in my electorate, they are skills that in housing will be put to work locally. In West Heidelberg, again, at places like Belbardia, which is just up the road from Melbourne Polytechnic, where, together with the Victorian Government, we're constructing 104 social and affordable homes with an investment of $27.5 million. That will be a big investment for my community. So I do encourage all local students to have a look at the work that is happening at Melbourne Polytechnic. Have a look at the opportunities that are there. It was fantastic speaking with a lot of the local students there about the experiences they are having through their apprenticeships and through their training. In the main, they were very positive experiences where they'd found the blend of the practical work they were getting through their apprenticeships plus the training was really useful, and that they could see how that was setting them up for an excellent career to come. I was also really pleased while I was at Melbourne Polytechnic, to meet Adam, a local who's been teaching plumbing to students there. Adam, again, has a long history of working as a plumber, and he told me he had now come to be teaching the profession so that he could give back to the next generation, to help build that generation of workers we will need to continue to do this work. So it was really great to talk to Adam about what he's getting out of teaching these skills, and as a government we absolutely want to encourage people to look at the option of teaching skills and training and being part of the training workforce. We recognise that, again, particularly in these types of construction trades, there may be older people who have worked for some time in the industry and are now looking, perhaps not to be on the tools all day, every day, and for the other opportunities that teaching provides, and, as I said, to be able to give back to the community. So with teachers like Adam working in our local community, I am confident that both our local plumbing industry, our local plumbing apprentices, and in fact the future of construction in our local area is in good hand. I'm very pleased to see that. Deputy Speaker, another area that I am really pleased and encouraged to see growth in through the investment this government has been making in free TAFE is the opportunities it is providing for Australian women. Free TAFE has allowed women to take up opportunities that otherwise are hard to come by. We do know that 6 in 10 learners in free TAFE are women. And they're doing courses like nursing, like cyber security. They are doing courses like carpentry, mental health, early childhood education. I have spoken with a number of these women, including some of them taking some of those more different pathways into construction apprenticeships. And they all really talk about how much they appreciate the opportunity, how they really understand that this is setting them up to further their career, and how they really value the skills that they have been able to gain as a result of free TAFE. So these are all opportunities that would be taken away from Australian women under those opposite who do not support free TAFE. These women would not have the opportunity to study and to grow their skill set and to grow their future prosperity and the prosperity of their families and our country under those opposite who, for ideological reasons, are standing against this government's work to make free TAFE permanent in this country. The flow-ons from Australian women being able to take up those training opportunities, we know we are already seeing positive results for women in the workforce. The latest data from the ABS tells us we are fast approaching 7 million Australian women having jobs. The December 2024 data tells us a record, in fact, we've got more than 6 million Australian women with jobs. The vast majority of growth in women's jobs have been full-time, 84% of all new women's jobs, with the number of women in full-time work now reaching a record high of almost 4 million. That is an impressive growth in that time, and we will see that continue as we see Australian women able to take up the opportunities that free TAFE provides. Deputy Speaker, none of this is a given. As I said, this is the work of Labor governments, to provide people with opportunity that comes from education, to broaden that opportunity so that all Australians have the opportunity to take up a training, a skill, a career in an area that both works for them but also contributes to our national prosperity and our national growth, whether it is through a construction trade at Melbourne Polytechnic in West Heidelberg, where they're studying carpentry and plumbing, and where they will be building the houses that we need to overcome our housing shortage in Australia, whether it's studying a healthcare science or early childhood education, providing the workforce that we need in those care industries. These are the opportunities that Labor is providing from free TAFE. Of course, all we get from those opposite, once again, is an attempt to shut down these opportunities for Australians. Those opposite have very clearly said that they do not support this bill. They have suggested that those who are taking up this opportunity, in fact, do not value the opportunity. I really would encourage those opposite to get out and meet some of these apprentices, these students who are doing this training. I can assure you that every single one I have met really appreciates the opportunity they are getting to set themselves up for the future. And that does include young people who are training for the first time. It includes older people who are retraining and being able to extend their time in the workforce. It includes Australian women who are getting opportunities that they have not got before. And when we contrast the approach of this government, investing in these people to build their skills, to build their future, to have a career that is lasting and that is meaningful, with the approach of those opposite, which is to both deny that opportunity, to be very clear that they do not support that opportunity for people to get ahead in Australia, but at the same time to say that what they do support is Australian taxpayers funding a long lunch for bosses, is actually outrageous. But it is a very clear indication of the choice that will be before the Australian people when we go to ask them to support this government and election. And it is a very clear indication of this government's priorities: building Australia's future, making sure that all Australians can access that prosperity, and giving young people in my community, older people in my community, the opportunity to gain the skills that will set them up for their future.
I thank